searching on this magical place called MySpace Classifieds for a singer, and at the same time, I was searching for guitarists to work on some music.
And another magical place called Craigslist.
And then I think you're right, yep. And then he found my listing and asked me to audition for his band, and I was like, no, I don't want to be in a band. And then I listened to Pablo's music, and I loved it, and it clicked, and I thought that was more important than anything else. So, but he had 3 songs up, and I was like, I'm only going to write to like 1.5 in case I really love them, and then they break my heart and don't ask me to join the band. But I couldn't help it. I wrote like 3 songs, and we've been together ever since. And then Fulham joined the band 2 years ago now?
4 years ago.
Oh, my God.
And we also found Chris, but no, it wasn't a magical place. It was more like a dark place.
It was a dark place.
Facebook.
Yeah.
All right, for those...
The band's been around for like 8 years almost now.
Yes.
Sweet. All right, for those that are joining a bit late, this is Cheretta, our featured band of the week. They open up for 9 Inch Nails, Soundgarden, Flyleaf, Red, Hinder, Sick Puppy, Lacuna Coil. Tons of others perform with Sabin, Abel, Empowerment 5000. Now, out of that list, who was the coolest, to be on stage for or with?
I think probably all have different answers.
Yeah, so Pablo, you go first. What do you think? Who's the favorite opener that you had?
I think the favorite band that I've enjoyed playing with was Empowerment 5000. Those guys were really cool. They put on a great show, and that night was a lot of fun. I had a great time with them.
Okay, go ahead, Phil.
I'm going to say Red put on one of the better shows that we've seen, and we're actually playing with them again in 2 weeks, February 25th at Gramercy Theater in New York City. So that's pretty cool to get to play with them again.
And my favorite was Flyleaf. They were amazing live, and this was with their new singer. It was recently, and they were just really good, cool people, and we ended up talking after the show, and we had so much in common, and they were amazing live. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just to put it out there, y'all don't have to, but if y'all talk to any of these bands, if they ever want to, come on and interview with us, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right.
We'll put on a good word.
I appreciate it. Because, we're independently owned and operated, and things are hard sometimes. All right. So
we totally understand.
We are independently owned and operated as well.
And it's also hard.
So, what's the meaning behind the band name Charetta?
Well, it's 2015, so I think we have a new meaning, right?
Oh, yes. It's a really sad but true story. There was a fire in this house in the Bronx, and the firemen saved this little girl named Charetta, and that fireman was Fulham's father. And we just always loved the story, so we decided to name it after this little girl in her honor. Being a fighter and a survivor, yeah.
That is absolutely awesome. I mean, you really can't beat that, and that's not even a joke. The fact that you would name, a band after a little girl, that shows character and that shows class. That's just my opinion, but I think it does.
Well, Thank you. And if you ask us tomorrow, we'll give you another story. I can't laugh out loud now. They're over here like trying not to laugh. But yeah, we have a lot of different stories, and that one was a new one. You've got the first one of 2015.
All right, I'm glad.
I wasn't ready for her to pull my dad into it.
I was like, is he crying or laughing? Luckily, he was laughing.
Hey, I love hearing stories. I mean, whatever's true, whatever's not, y'all are a really kick-ass band. I can't, I'm very honored, and I say this every time, that we have bands on, but I'm truly, authentically, however you want to call it, honored. So, what was it like being on the Hottest Chicks in Rock tour?
It was a really fun time. it was nice to work with other female-fronted bands who are supportive of each other. I think in the past it seemed like a competition, but this was very different, and it was fun.
Yeah, we got to play with a band we're friends with locally in New York City, Silver, and they're just awesome people, so that was cool. So it's good. You know, a lot of these bands you're friends with, but you know from being around the scene, but you don't always get to play with them. You just kind of cross paths, and everyone assumes that you get to play shows together all the time, but it's not always the case. So that was cool.
So, you know, how has the band matured since, 8 years ago when you all started?
I think our songwriting, mainly. You know, when you spend so much time together as a band, you know, the writing just it's that matures, just like with everything else, with time. And I think ever since Chris joined the band, I've always said that it felt like Chris was there from the beginning, and I think that's really what made us complete as a band, and just the writing style, and just how everything kind of comes together. I think that's where how we matured over the years.
And I think the new stuff that we're working on is taking that to a whole. Yeah. Taking it to a whole new level of that, and I think we're being a little more experimental with some sounds, and I don't think we want to give it away too much yet, but
yeah, we're really looking to kind of push things a little bit and just continue to grow, which we think we've done on every release up to this point.
Awesome. So, what I have to ask, what's your favorite song that you've done and why? I'm just curious what you all would say.
That also might be a different answer.
Yeah, that could be a different answer based on which day you ask us. You know, it changes based on, as time goes by. For me, I would say right now, I think as far as like playing it live, I think I like playing I'm Not Your Bitch the most live. I don't know what everyone else. It's just
that's the first song that came to the band that you wrote, right?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe I'm just being a homer on that one.
But I could see why maybe that's special to you for that part of that reason.
Yeah.
I think for me, well, the song that I enjoy playing live, I think is Watch It Burn. Just because it's a fun song playing live. But the song that the Lights Out is the one song that because I had a hard time writing that one, and as I was writing it, I felt like it wasn't going anywhere, and I was spending a lot of time on it. And sometimes when you spend too much time on one thing, that's kind of like maybe let it go and move on to something else. And I was like, no, I really want to finish this, and how it came together, and how it's one of like the more popular songs, one of the more favorite songs, fan favorite. So I'm kind of happy about that. So that one's my favorite right now.
And I think mine right now is Apocalypse. It's like a metaphor for about making decisions in your life. How everything has this hint of a good thing or a bad thing, and these paths that you lay out in your life. And the song kind of explains that in this sort of apocalyptic way. And it's also kind of our theme, and so has special artistic meaning to me.
Yeah, I just the first time I've ever heard that song actually was today, and I'm like, that is awesome. I absolutely love your music. I've heard, I heard, a few songs prior, and of course, always playing, I'm Not Your Bitch, because that was a song, that we had, from Reverb Nation and whatnot. But, I love your style. It's just different. As far as like modern rock and everything, so how would you all define yourself as, different from every other band out there?
Well, first I'll say shout out to Lou from Reverb Nation too, and check us out on there, and other bands. He does a lot for rock music in New York City. And I guess it's funny because I would have said something different maybe 8 years ago. 8 years ago I would say female-fronted band is pretty different for the time, and I'm actually happy to see more female-fronted bands coming out. I think maybe the guitars and my certain style together are what's unique.
Yeah, I think it's, if you were to take each one of our phones and just go through our music collections, you would find widely different tastes, and it just kind of, over time, just kind of come together naturally. We're all bringing something a little bit different to the table. Like, we don't only listen to rock music, you know. We all listen to different stuff. Some of it's poppy, some of it's electronic, some of it's jazz. You know, it kind of all comes together naturally out of your writing over time.
So we all have different tastes in music completely,
yeah.
But we all tolerate each other because we hear it coming out, influencing what we're writing, and it's great, actually.
And we're open to it too.
Yeah.
Now we are.
So, I have a question for you, Angelina. Do you like the Big Apple compared to Kansas?
We're like rivals. Or Kansas and Missouri, it's like New Jersey, New York kind of rivalry. But I love New York. I came here when I was in high school, and I felt very drawn to the city, so it was my goal from there on to get here as soon as possible. It's very busy. When my parents come to visit, they seem a little overwhelmed.
But they're getting better now.
Yeah.
This last time, they looked very comfortable.
They did. Yeah, and it was funny. The first time my dad came, he drove all the way from Kansas City to here, and he was very confident driving. And this time he flew, and he seemed really nervous about driving. So it's kind of interesting, like, how different it is in that aspect. There, you know, the driving here is very aggressive. So it's just getting around. You get used to it, and I have to say, too, I think Midwesterners or people not from New York who come here, I think they help calm some of the New Yorkers' nerves. I see them sometimes getting really angry on the train, and I know there's these Midwesterners speaking up and being like, hey, guys, maybe you should just separate yourselves. One should go to the other car. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to just do that.
Well,
So, yeah, I think I'm a good influence, too, on New York.
Wow.
Is that braggy?
well, you know, I'm originally from Connecticut, so I understand about the driving. So.
You know, I try to be, like, polite when I drive and all that and bring that Midwestern love to New York City.
I'm sure it's hard, though.
You can't. It's New York.
People drive like idiots around here.
It is, and I try not to get road rage, but I can see how people get road rage around here.
Yeah, when people park in the middle of the road, that brings up road rage very quickly.
Yeah, like they got a fender bender and they block all of the highway because they need to pull over and won't just move their car to the shoulder.
It's sad but true. All right. Do you think it benefits y'all or hinders you? You know, being out in New York City compared to other places.
That's a good question.
I would say, I mean, it's like any place. It's got its pros and cons. It's awesome because there's so many people here, and there's a lot of places to play, and you're close to a lot of other areas. You know, like Philly's only 2 hours away, and just everything. You don't have to drive far to play an out-of-market show, but you know, we also know rock isn't as big here as it is in other places. It's just playing. You're close to a lot of other areas. Way to go.
Is that you or another phone call coming in?
All right. Is this the missing band member, or is this a fan calling in right now?
Oh, maybe
It's a fan.
No, it's Cousin Marlo.
We want to know your predictions on the Super Bowl.
Oh, it's Marlo! Batman Marlo's calling.
Is it? Yeah. Is it?
Well, our prediction, I'm going to predict it's, oh shoot, you know what? Both really two good teams.
I'm picking the Patriots because I'm a homer.
Seahawks
fan.
I think I'm going to pick the Seahawks, too. Wait, who was it that was squishing his balls?
Deflategate, Belichick, and Brady.
Is that Patriots?
Yes.
Yeah, so I vote for Seahawks.
Yeah, but
Sorry, if you guys could stop messing with your balls, then maybe I'd vote for you. What do you think, Paulo?
Wow. I think the caller hung up.
I guess Marlo didn't like that answer.
So that was it sounded like that was Rich, who's the bass player for our band for 7 years, and he recently moved on. So we weren't expecting him to call in.
He misses us. We miss you too. Yeah, we're gonna go to a party tomorrow. Are you guys going?
I don't know.
We might. Yeah, let's just crash his house.
Alrighty. You never know what you can hear on your local radio, but okay. All right.
That's why it's crazy.
What was the most difficult thing to overcome, touring wise?
I think probably like spending all of us inside like a very tiny hotel room and figure out sleeping arrangements.
I'll get to bed. Everybody else sleeps on the floor.
Yeah, especially since we have a female in the band, so we have to be mindful of that. So sleeping on the floor,
And farting is the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to eat fast food on the road, so it's inevitable.
I mean, it is. For one thing, it is really fun to play at different spots every night, but there's also different challenges every night, different sound people in different rooms, and so sometimes it's a little difficult to know what's going to work and what's going to, I don't know, we had a few little things that went wrong on stage that we had to overcome, and then you just have to get used to being like, okay, things are going to screw up, but we're just going to have fun anyway.
That's an awesome answer. I totally agree. Now, with you all, doing over 200 plus shows, do you ever get, sick of, touring, or you just like the bright lights?
No, we want more shows.
Yeah, if we can do 400.
And this year.
This year alone. I don't think this is enough days in the year.
Oh, you're right. Not doing very good there.
We'll play like 3 shows a day.
There you go.
That'd be awesome. We love it. It gives you that natural high. Music is very special that way. And, I feel like, because the songs are special to us, too, we feel like we're sending these positive messages of hope and things like that. So, and you can see it in the faces of the fans, too, when they come over and they want your autograph and a picture with you. And they, they just get you, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. It's very humbling, too.
Very.
Awesome. So, who hooked you up? Who hooked you all up with all these, big names, to just open up? Because you can't just say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I'd like to open up for you.
I mean, we've been around for 8 years, and, we've been getting calls, so that's really nice.
Just hard work and reputation. There's no magic formula. Just, you get your name out there, and people, know that we're professional, and we try to put on a good show every night, regardless of how big or small it is.
And where would you say is your favorite place that you've performed at so far?
I might have different answers. I like where we're playing in 2 weeks with Red again at Gramercy Theater in the city, because it's just the sound is good and it's a really big stage, which I think we work well with. We've played a lot of shows. Some of them are small, some of them are big, but it's nice when you just have more room. You don't have to worry about bumping into each other, and you can kind of just one less thing to worry about. You can kind of do your thing.
Yeah, I'm actually going to say Gramercy Theater, too. That's my favorite venue so far.
And I was going to say Gramercy Theater, too.
Oh, see?
But, for the lighting is great, too. Everybody there is great. I think our fans find it easy to get to, and...
You should mark this on your calendar, because this is the first time everyone has agreed.
And when's the show? February
26th.
February 25th, and it's New York City, so we get fans from out of state too who come in because they're going to spend the day in the city and come see us afterwards. So anybody listening who wants to come see us in our favorite spot in New York City. Love to have you there. We got tickets on sale on the website now. It's www.Charetta, CHARETTA.com/store if you want to go directly to the tickets. So I had to stick that in there since we were talking about Gramercy so much.
Shameless promo.
A little shameless.
Yeah, I mean, there's good bands on that show, too. Red, 3 Years Hollow.
And if you guys don't know them, check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if people don't know Red, they must be sitting in a closet somewhere. But
I'd like to say hi to our friend Alex. Hi. He's helped us out quite a few times with gigs, and he's a great bass player himself, and we know he's listening in, so we should say hi. Say hi.
He's done roadie work for us, too, so and he's listening in, so we wanted to give a shout-out to Alex from New Jersey.
New Jersey.
all right. Isn't that competition? Just kidding.
Nah, we love Jersey. Jersey.
So what really makes, what forms the chemistry, between, Charetta? Because I know every band, has their little quirks and everything. And what really makes your band click?
I think we all have very vibrant personalities. And most of the time, it complements each other. I'd say 99% of the time. And then 1% of the time we fight, and I think that also makes us closer together.
Yeah, I mean, that comes with being in a band for 8 years. And even though I'm newer, you kind of learn when to push and when to back away. And just, it's like a relationship, except with 4 other people.
And another thing I really love about your band is there's some bands that, can record great in the studio, but they suck live. And, based on, the videos that I've seen and everything, it doesn't seem like, Cheretta is one of them.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I don't know how to really answer that because, I think we just try to, that's a hard one. I think I'm stumped on this one. I think, when you go on stage and you play live and, sometimes you kind of like want to, practice.
No, I think we put a lot of hard work into our live show. We take it very seriously. You can go in the studio, like you said, and anyone can make it sound good when you can do it over 10,000 times, but we do that, doing it over 10,000 times in our practice space, so that when it comes time to play shows, it comes out right.
Practice is definitely a good answer.
Yeah. The more you do something, the better you're going to get at it.
Oh, all right, and what do you want the fans to know, and where can they buy your music?
Want them to know that we love them. And you can check us out and buy music at www.Charetta.com, CHARETTA.com. And then we have a store in there where you can pick up tickets. We have CDs, we have T-shirts, we even have shot glasses.
Yeah, we're also on CD Baby. If people feel comfortable buying stuff to, sites like CD Baby, we're also on Amazon.
Reverb Nation, which is how you found out us.
Yeah, I think it depends on what people feel comfortable buying things online, like iTunes. Right. People feel comfortable buying iTunes or using Amazon, CD Baby, Reverb Nation, or straight from our website. You can get downloads, physical CDs, merch, all that good stuff. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter. We're all over social media.
There's a site to promote. We're on it.
All right, and one last question. I ask this a lot, but I get different answers. How would you define yourself successful in 5 years?
1 from Reverb Nation, which is how you found out us. Yeah, I think it depends on what people feel comfortable buying things online, like iTunes or CD Baby, or Reverb Nation. how do we find ourselves or define
What, is that a question of where do you think we'll be in 5 years, or where would we like
What
to be
would
in
what
5
would
years?
what would success be for you in 5 years down the line?
I don't know if we've thought about this as a group, so my answer might not reflect everybody's, but I would say, honestly, if we're still enjoying it and playing together, because it's a lot of hard work, so
Then that's success.
yeah, just even if we're still playing and we're doing anything with it, we'd like to obviously grow our fan base and continue to get in front of more people, but if we're writing new music that we're happy with, I would say that's success.
I agree. I think there's some big bands out there who are playing music that wasn't written for or was written for them, but they didn't write, and they're not loving it, and they don't have any rights. And I don't want to be there, so that's why what Fulham said is so important for us to always hold on to that as a goal first.
All right, and real quick, what advice would you give for somebody just starting a band, knowing how hard it is, touring and everything?
Well, especially in today's music industry where it's very difficult, I would say to someone who's first starting out that they have to love playing, they have to love writing, record themselves as often as possible, to hear themselves play back, be professional, always be professional, and network with other bands in your area, and just keep playing and enjoy what you're doing. If you're enjoying what you're doing, then you'll be okay.
Yeah, and I agree so much about the professionalism. Like when you go to see other bands play, watch them, support them, and then they'll hopefully do the same thing for you. Definitely don't want to talk crap while they're there within earshot. That definitely gives you a bad rep, and then bands don't want to play with you, and their fans don't want to watch you. So, all those little things can come back and bite you in the butt.
Yeah, and just work hard at what you're doing and realize you're not going to be amazing when you start, but just keep doing it. And you have to filter out the noise when people say you're not good enough, possibly, or they don't like what you're doing. Just keep, if you're confident in it, just keep doing it.
You can find a fan base that gets what you're doing, even if maybe your friends and family don't get it right away.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Charetta, for joining us and everything, and we really are honored for the interview, and y'all have a wonderful Super Bowl weekend.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Yeah, you all take care.
Bye.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, that was Charetta. What a fantastic, amazing, phenomenal band they are, and we're very glad to have them on 2 Local Radio, and we hope they come back sometime, in the future, and let us know what's going on. All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful weekend.